You just remember to capitalize the first letter, darling. Capitalize it, honey. Honey, honey, honey. Honey, baby child. Okay, I think we're ready. Good morning, guys. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all gonna get this nightgown for this week. You gonna get this nightgown, baby. Okay, y'all. So listen. Today's show is about values, and so if values are important because of what is it? Values are very important because my okay. I think I'm okay on this side. I'm swinging out. All right, values are important. Let's talk about it. Let me not even say because well, values are important because it's going to go into your identity iceberg and it's going to go below. And so I always talk about this. Like I always talk about like how the CRT, the critical race theory, was not something that we needed to share with people because it was just a research of a person's area um of their city. So if I was which I really could have been a critical race theorist, right? I would have had a different take on what my community was like. So, like in some people's communities, they were affected by white people. Like they said, there would be social workers. Like if they were in low income, they had social workers that would come to their homes and see what their homes were like. Well, we lived with my grandmother for most of my elementary childhood, so no social workers come to the home. Like it's just like they just get government assistance. So when my mother moved into Section 8 housing, then we would get an inspection. But again, we never had a social worker come to our house. So it's like, why would a social worker come to your house? And it's like it's such an age old situation. Like depending on your community, that's not what you're gonna have. So when I saw Claudine and I saw a social worker coming to the house, it's like the only reason a person would visit you as a social worker would be if you had issues with your children, if you had like a history of abuse or something in your home. That's what they come and check on, right? But they not coming to check on your house. And so it's just like from New York to Illinois, it's a different environment. And I've never lived in New York. All I'm doing is looking at what I saw in Claudine, and then I'm looking at the critical race theory. I'm looking at the videos of the kids saying, well, this is not right, and this, that, and the other. Which in our community, because of how the community is set up, we don't care about the color. Like we never cared about the color. We don't care about the neighborhoods that we play in because it wasn't dangerous. And at some point, it wasn't dangerous at all. And then overnight, it just got dangerous, like I said. So it was like when in 1983 when crack came into the community and all this different stuff. Now people are ripping off the like now people are trying to like get into your house all the time. Now people are trying to rob all this stuff, and we didn't have to worry about it because people didn't fuck with our family. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something that they don't do. So that's it. Except for my cousin, I think he had trouble, and he's a boy, so he had trouble with like them wanting to steal his clothes. So now, we never wore our good clothes outside the house. Like it's like only if we were going somewhere. And for real, we'll park in the backyard and go in that way, like so nobody sees anything that we're doing. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we got a privacy fence on one side, and then on the other side you got a neighbor, but they don't have any access to see what we're doing as far as taking stuff out of the car. So it's like, yeah, if we had to get a lot of stuff, then you take it out. You see what I'm saying? Then if it's like something new, like a TV or something, you rip up the box and you put it in the trash bag. So then they never think that you got anything new. You see what I'm saying? So like people in our neighborhood, we just have to watch out like that. Like that's how you keep yourself safe. So when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm just like, um, values, based on the region or whatever. So it's just like, where was I going with that one? But it's like I said, since the neighborhood changed overnight, it wasn't something that we always had to worry about. Okay, so let's start. Oh yeah, I was telling you guys how it identifies your cultural iceberg. So again, if this is your cultural iceberg, then it'll be placed into the deeper level part of your cultural iceberg. So when you're going over the cultural iceberg, that's something that you want to go ahead and put in there. I have I have lived in, I'm gonna write it down. I have lived in Illinois. I grew up in Illinois. I'm gonna say Missouri, Louisiana, and Texas, or Texas and Louisiana. And then when I moved to Texas, and that's it. And I have so oh yeah, I was telling you how it differs for me as far as like how I grew up. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't care. We didn't care about other people. Do you understand what I'm talking about? It's like so what sure it's like we actually live better lives than they do. Like I think that because of how we live here, we see that trash is trash. It's like we are not curious about trash. Like we have always lived better than even right now I'm living better than white trash. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like so I have no reason to it's not that we feel like we're better than them. It's just that we know they trash. If you walk into a woman's house and it's like filthy and nasty and they got critters and they hoarding shit and it's like they got food all over the place and I'm talking about I'm serious. Like right now, even in this cramped up space, it's just like I'm living here. But trash will have food all over the place, chicken bones, and I'm talking about trash for us comes in all colors. Some African women are like that too. Like, well, they'll keep sauces and stuff on the wall, and it'll be like food everywhere, and you know what I'm talking about. And it's like you can't eat them if they have a pet. The cat hurts in the food and all that different stuff. Trash is trash. Like we know trash. So, and it's like I said, it's like it doesn't matter what color. It doesn't matter. Like we've been around all types of trash. So it's like in the Midwest, because that's what it is. I guess I'm taking the Midwest and the South. In the Midwest, that's something that we just, I mean, it's like the life that a person may have experienced in New York, we don't experience in the Midwest. So it's like they couldn't come to us with those type of standards. They couldn't come to us and say, we as a social worker, I have to come into your house. Like, no, you want to come into my house because you don't know how to keep your house. They wouldn't tell you the truth. You see what I'm saying? So today the question is, what are some values I've learned based on the region of the country where I grew up or live currently? So we'll talk about that. Now let's discuss what values are. I got two definitions. Values are a person's principles or standards of behavior. One's judgment that is of what is important in life. So let's talk about it as far as standards. So most of my standards come from East St. Louis, Illinois. Even though my father was in Texas, I said like my stepmother's from Louisiana. My standards come from East St. Louis, Illinois. Also, I keep forgetting about Indiana because my grandfather died when I was little. So my grandfather was pretty much part of my upbringing too. Like he died when I was like 5 years old. So I used to go to Indiana too. So most of if I think about the region, it's the Midwest. Most of my standards come from the Midwest. And it's because we have to be protected. Like, don't poison anybody's food. You know what I'm saying? Don't always you can't always stick up for your mother and your father because the person's probably just running their damn mouth. It's like, what other standards? It's like we have certain standards for cooking. We have certain, especially with my grandmother. My grandmother is like a stickler. If it ain't good, baby, we gonna stay in this kitchen till you get it right. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's like you gonna stay in that kitchen until you get it right. It's the same thing with travel. Like we don't think that we can't cook. It's like you can't tell me I can't cook. I can tell you that this is disagreeable. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but you can't tell me that I can't cook. And my mother, for some reason, she got upset because I was taking like cooking classes. Like she was upset about it for some reason. I was like, what? So even with the boyfriends, like when I get into their culture, I know how to make like homemade tortillas and all that stuff. So that comes later on in my life. But with my upbringing, it was like We had mainly a American, um, an American diet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we have manwich and what other stuff? Bologna sandwiches. We wrote government cheese, so we had powdered milk. We never drank it. Powdered milk stay in that mother. I'm talking about. I think it's powdered milk still in my grandmother's cabinet at this moment. When she actually converted the kitchen over, I was in there like, why don't you throw the powdered milk away? Because we don't use it. Y'all know that they put it right back in the brand new cabinet. They put it back in the brand new cabinet. I was just like, why would she put that back in the brand? Like, we don't even use it. And so I wanted to put my glowworm back in the cabinet. They was like, nah, take that mess with you. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we, as far as like, um, the stances of behavior, that's something else too. Like, it's like, how do you act? Like, you don't go to somebody else's house and eat with your fingers. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain shit we do not do. And so it's just, I don't know. Like, we have like high standards as far as like when I travel and I see what other people do. We have very high standards. So high that I have actually felt a tinge of like heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always talk about this about my son, like when he's like, no, give me a knife and a fork. And I'm just like, is he fucking serious? Y'all, he is serious. So I had to actually raise my standard again. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, my kid is so ingrained in proper etiquette at the table and proper etiquette of eating that I'm just like, is he for real? I'm never like, no, you're gonna eat that with your fingers. I never do it. But he eats his sushi with his hands, but everything else he's like, Even sometimes a sandwich he'll be like, no, I need a knife and a fork. I'm gonna keep this bite together. And so it is amazing to me. Like, that is like for us in this area for St. Louis and Illinois, we like to have a properly set table. I think I'm the wild one because I will like go to IKEA. I go to places like where I can pick up my own food and eat. Um, I don't always have to have a set table, but I do like rolled silverware. Like, I'm in a shelter and I actually have napkins. I will purchase napkins so I can roll my silverware. I'm not joking. I also purchase placemats and coasters. Like, it's just something that I have to have. I would actually keep a set of it in my bag. I could just roll this shit up the whole time. I have to have real utensils. I'm the only one that's like that. My family don't eat with plastic stuff. I'm like such a stickler for like I hate styrofoam. Like, I have a styrofoam container here. I keep plastic silverware just in case I don't want to wash these, but I always end up washing it because all I gotta do is stick it in a cup of hot water. So I recycle a lot, and I'm the only one. So that's not a Midwestern thing. Like, my family will be like, nah, if we gotta wash dishes, we're just gonna get plastic. I'd be like, no, I would just rather buy a set of dishes or a new set of silverware, and then we could just wash it from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, why do that when we could just get a new set of silverware? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I think it's better to just wash it and move on. Um, what else? Like, that's it. Like, the Midwest, like, and also my family really is from the UK, so it's like my grandpa on my grandfather's side. So it's like that's why it's like I really kind of do proper. I do proper tea. I do it's just a lot of stuff I do. Like, I don't think that people, and I do it on my own because I don't need people questioning me. I hate people questioning me about my food, about my etiquette, about everything. Like, it is like one of the things that I hate. But her, even a gangster has etiquette. Like, it's like in the Midwest, everybody is growing up really with etiquette. And if that person doesn't have etiquette, it's not that we look down on it. We just like, wait a minute, we need to teach you. No, that's a no no. That's a no no. That is a no no. That is a no no. As opposed to Texas and Louisiana. So Louisiana, my aunt, she loves the food. She loves the cooking. I'm just not a big person about the sausages and all this stuff. I like sausage, even though like we make it at Central Market and stuff. Like, I've made the sausage before too. So it's like I'm just not that type of person. Like, it's like with my family, they are like, they like we'll travel to Louisiana so she can get some boudin or something like that, or she'll try to like get it shipped to her. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what cost, I'm not that type of person. Um, Texas, the food is not that great. Like because people, it's like an American thing. Like Texas is really fucking American. Like I'm not joking. Texas is fucking American for real. It's like these people actually think that because they use mesquite chips and all this different stuff, they can actually like cook and they can't. So it's like a lower standard for me too. Like I'm just like this is. I always cook when I'm in Texas because it's just like I cannot. When I'm here, I eat restaurants food because it's a standard here as well. That if you cannot cook or if you are not from the area, we probably won't eat your food. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's like you have to be approved by like somebody in our family to say that that was some good food, or else we won't go. And we'll get popped. Like if it's a person where they know that it's a nasty person, or they use like voodoo and all this stuff, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like we'll get like they'll slap the shit out of us if we go. It does not matter what age we are. At this age, I could still get a whooping. It's not a joke. So that's it. It's like that's the standard. Like it's like, but in Texas they don't have it. Like they have this totally American thing. Like because I bought this great grill and I did this. It's like no, I'm sorry. I do not want to be a part of your story. I actually go to Hispanic neighborhoods when I'm in Texas because I'm just like they are the only people that understand what I'm talking about. So when I'm with Hispanic people, that's the same thing. Like the food is so good. Like it's like because they have the same standard. Like they'll have like La Tapatia, like we'll go to La Tapatia. So I love that. So principles are standards of behavior. So let's talk about behavior like that. Well, I guess that is like that's the main thing. I'm not like really religious, but I come from a really religious background. My family grew well, like we grew up in the Church of God in Christ. It's it's not a whole lot I can say about it. Like it's just like we go to church, we do what's morally right. And we got evil people in the family. Like it's just like everybody else's family. Like it's not like we're perfect or anything, but we better than most, you know. In Texas, I don't even give a fuck because I don't have to go to church. I don't have to see church people. I do go to church and I like it. Like I like churches where it's like it's like a whole group of different of diverse people. So I usually go to churches like that. Even here in St. Louis, I started going to a church where it's like diverse, like because they, you know, I like churches where they don't care if the person is gay, if the person is a stripper, if whatever the person wore. I love those type of churches because that is in the Bible. Come as you are. Like you don't have to come and be glamorous. I like the churches where it's like they got everybody involved doing something. Like we went to one church event. We used to go to this one church. It was a big church, and they had like they have like all these events for kids. That's why I did it. And it's like Blake would, you know, me and him, they don't talk to us, they don't know us or anything. And you actually got to sign in and get a name tag and all this different stuff. It's huge. The church is huge. Well, anyway, the only reason I go is because of the events. Like me and Blake get outside and we play crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I love the church because they're not in my business. I hate when people are in my business. Get out my business. And so that's it. The principles, standards, or behaviors. I'm not a nosy person either. I grew up, like I said, that standard comes from East St. Louis, Illinois. Like it's like I can't stand gossip. And that's something else we would have got the shit knocked out of us. If I was like some of these people are that are like trying to get into my business, no matter what color, because y'all is white, black, Hispanic, Indian, they all trying to be in my business, women and men. And so you just like, my grandmama would have beat the shit out of you. Even if my grandmother was here right now. Like, I think yesterday at the library, somebody was stalking me. And that's like, my grandmother would have smacked the shit out of you. She would have took a pistol out her purse and put it to his fucking neck. And it's like, that is the shit I'm talking about. Like, it's like, y'all really think that we not gangsters. Like, y'all don't know that we came from gangsters. That's the other part. In the Midwest, we really come from gangsters. Like, our family wasn't no fucking punks. Like, they some G's, G. And that's straight from St. Louis, Missouri to East St. Louis, Illinois. I don't know about Chicago. Chicago, they seem like they some thieves. Everywhere else, it's just like, I don't know. Like, y'all ain't, Texas ain't shit. Like them motherfuckers think they hard. Them police be running the fuck out y'all. Down here, they run the police. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it's like y'all really looking at shit like the wrong fucking way. Like it's like, nah, we don't fucking play. Like our grandparents didn't play. So it's just like some of the little shit y'all do, that's how we know y'all not from here. Cause y'all would have got the shit popped out of you. And it's like your our grandmama would have hit you, your grandmama would have hit you, your daddy would have hit you. I'm talking about for real, you probably would have been in house for like 2 years and getting knocked like everybody would have just knocked the shit out of you. You would have learned. They would have told you the story too. Man, I remember the one time I'll be a nose in it, man. And that motherfucker be retarded because they be knocked the fuck out of him. You understand what I'm saying? He'll tell you why he retarded. Because I was being nosy. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's like stalkers. I'm talking about stalkers. These motherfuckers not even from her. You a stalker, bitch. You ain't from her. They be from Mississippi, Tennessee. Get your Kentucky looking ass back to Kentucky, bitch. So it's just like I cannot take it, y'all. It's like they have no type of discipline when it comes to giving a person space. You see what I'm saying? Because we know, like, it's like give a person a space. What goes on in their house, their yard, is not your fucking business at all. Like, I'm talking about a motherfucker could be getting his ass whooped in his yard. We not about to run across the street. We ain't about to do nothing. Like, whoever over there need to call the fucking police. You understand? If that motherfucker ain't sick, whoever the fuck over there got to call the police. And that's just how it is. It's like we just not nosy ass people, because tomorrow they'll be over there in love. And we ain't gonna sit on the porch and talk about it either. Now, my grandmother on my daddy's side, it's like she a whole different type of bitch because she racist. And I'm talking about even with racism, you just be like, what the fuck wrong with you? You see what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why you sit on the porch gossiping about people when we can be in there trying to make some fucking cookies or something? You see what I'm saying? My grandmama, it's like my grandmother on my mother's side was the same way. And my grandfather was too. Like, it's just, that's a standard. Like, it's like, what's wrong with having family time is family time. Why do we have to sit here and talk about other people? Y'all, we used to like sit and watch TV. All of us going to the living room, like V come on. Y'all remember V with the aliens and shit? So V come on, we sit in front of the TV and we'll like make like we'll have check us out. We play with the blocks, we play with the Lincoln Logs, we play with our toys until it's time to go to bed. Like this after school, do your homework, then we sit in front of TV and just chill. When we was in the other house, same thing. Like we just play games and shit like that. It's like it be so much more shit to do. Like they'll turn on a record player, we be in there dancing, having singing contests. I get to my daddy's mother house, all that bitch do is talk about people. She don't know none of their fucking business or nothing. I be going to slap the shit out of her. You understand what I'm saying? It's like some things I just can't do because my upbringing really is from East St. Louis. I'm like, this bitch gotta be some type of racist hoe or something. You see what I'm saying? I can't stand this hoe, y'all. And I'm talking about my whole life. I promise y'all, I never disrespected this woman. So that's even my standard too. I take care of older people. You know what I'm saying? I take care of younger people. I help everybody. Like, that's our standard. That's our family standard. And that comes from the Midwest. That does not come from the South. You understand what I'm saying? So in the South, I've only, like, because I only spent summers and winters there in, like, Texas and Louisiana, it's just, that's how, like, the South is the South. Like, they welcome me and everything. So if I have a welcoming spirit, it's because of him. Because it's like I don't have a bad story to tell at all. Don't have a bad story to tell you at all. Like, they are so beautiful. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like they are the meat of the earth for real. I don't have anything. My son loves being from Texas. That's something else I like teaching in Texas too, because they have a lot of pride. Here, they don't know their value. It's like they are the most valuable people on earth and don't even know it. The next one, values are the regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And that's what I got to tell you. The value is in the Midwest. You said that from the South, not the Midwest. You said that's from the South. Okay, I understand. I might have, I don't know. But listen, I'm going to go back over it again in my mind what I thought I said, okay? So listen, my values actually come from the Midwest, like my upbringing, my principles, my standards. You understand what I'm saying? The most valuable people, y'all, are really in the Midwest because of the education. And I'm sorry to say that because I have traveled everywhere. I'm not joking. It is because of the education. Now, it said it's the values in the Midwest, not the South. No, the South has values too, but it's different types of values. Because I grew up in three different parts of the South: Houston, Dallas, and um, that's why I started telling you guys about the critical race theory. So I grew up in three parts of the South: Houston, Dallas, and Louisiana. Houston has a different vibe, Dallas has a different vibe, and Louisiana has a different vibe. I said they are welcoming, right? We're welcoming too, but this is the difference. Like when it comes to education, Illinois, the Midwest has it. But they act as if they ignorant. Like some people act as if they never had the education at all. And so that is something that where I'm just like, I don't get it. And so in that case, sometimes I feel like they don't value themselves as much as Texans do. And so it's like that is something that I just got a chance to like look at and see as I was growing up. So in Texas, it's like they understand the value of being a Texan. My son, I'm talking about those students, my son, the teachers, it's just like I'm a Texan. When you get to Illinois or Missouri, it's like you don't see that is something that you guys need to be proud of. Like this is the home of the blues. This, and I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the music. This is the home of going out at night and dressing up. This is the home of the cat. That I'm talking about the style that we have here is beyond me as well. Like we are from artists and engineers. Like everybody in your family is usually like somebody that's creative. So it's like if you go to somebody's house, their daddy probably play music. If you go to somebody else's house, their mother probably sews. If you go to somebody else's house, and that's because of how the education is set up in East St. Louis. So that's why when I see y'all stealing from East St. Louis or robbing St. Louis, I see why. Because you don't understand that is something that we learn from the time that we grow up. Like it's not something that, you know what I'm saying, when you like 6 or 7, you got to sit down and start learning how to sew, like hand sew. This is something that they teach us, and if they don't teach us at home, they teach us at school. So it's like the stuff that I learned in elementary is just the basics of me being able to take care of a house. You see what I'm saying? Like how to sew, etiquette, dancing, like country line dancing, all these two-stepping, all that stuff is something that we actually learn growing up. Like as far as culture goes, there is nobody that can come here and tell us that we're not cultured. Nobody can take us out and be like, oh, yeah, she ain't shit because she from East St. Louis. Don't ever. Because if they don't get it at home, they're going to get it at after school program. They're going to get it at their friend's house. They're going to get it from somewhere. So it's like, don't ever step to us like we ain't shit. We travel a lot of time because we win a lot of games. Like it is like the winner spirit that I have comes from East St. Louis. You see what I'm saying? So even though I was involved in Texas, I didn't go to school in Texas. I just started teaching in Texas. So it's like, I like Texas. I like the way that they support each other. They learn from each other. But as far as like education goes, we number one. We still number one. They just don't know it. They just don't know it. And it's like, that is the craziest thing to me. It's like, y'all don't see the value of yourselves. And I think that is why you have to travel. You have to travel. And when you travel, you will humble yourself and you will start to see how great you are. And I'm not joking. You have to travel, try food, all those different things, because it is something that we need to really focus on. It's crazy because of the Midwest, the same thing. White people extracting the ideas from black people. And exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, y'all, it's like they do this thing here where, like, and black people do it too. It's not just white people, it's black people. Because I've been down here in the shelters, black people do it too. The person that did that to me was a black person. So it's like they can try to get your thoughts or whatever, and like they'll try to change you into them, and it's not a joke. So that's just something, like I woke up last night in the middle of the night, and that is actually something that they do. I sometimes think, because cars coming from a black person's idea around me. I live in Detroit. See? And it's like you gotta actually get away, because they'll try to hold you back. Like it's like, you know, they can't take all your thoughts, but it's like they'll try to take your thoughts, your ideas, your whatever you're doing, so they can try to become you. or they could try to be on the same track as you, and it's like they don't even know how to hold the shit together. Sometimes they don't even know how to put it together. So it take a whole group of them to try to steal from you. And it's like that is the thing. That's why they try to wipe the Midwest out, because especially these two areas is because the way that this is set up is like we actually learn a trade while we were in school. Like it's like they actually learn it. So Texas was starting to do that too. You see what I'm saying? So Texas, when I was just in Texas, teaching in 2015 when I started again in Texas, they would just turn it over to like where they can get onto like a college situation. And that's something that came from me. That came from me too. So it's like they could like learn like they're in college. So it's like they can choose like okay what field they want to go into, and they can start to like move into that field, and they can actually be educated before college, which is always something that we already do. The teachers here are even more get educated. When the teachers get a certification, they get it certified from pre-K all the way up to now from kindergarten to 12th grade. So they can just always move and change jobs. They don't have to get another certification or anything. So it's like cars came from here. First car road is Detroit. Cars are everywhere, even in. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought you was like spelling something wrong. I think cars came from a black person's idea too. I'm not joking. Like this is a creative area. I'm not joking. Like we are very creative, and like just knowing who my family is and everything like that, who my grandfather was, we are very creative people. So it's like, how could you say that this is? Uh, Sometimes we look at the world and just like, how is that yours? How is that your idea? And when we know that it came from the Midwest, you see what I'm saying? When we know it came from somewhere in the Midwest. So that's what this person is talking about. Apricot down on Tumblr. But that's it, y'all, for today. So it's like that's it. So what you want to do is when you get look at your cultural identity iceberg, think about where you grew up, how you grew up, and what was important to you. Like think about those values, like what your principles are, like how do you feel, like what's your religion and what is it like there for, all those different things. It's okay for you to start to explain those things to yourself in your cultural iceberg, because it's like that's something you have to understand about yourself. I'm a hero because I grew up in the Midwest. I probably would have been a hero in Texas too. But I probably would have been more introverted. You see what I'm saying? I would have been more ISTP in Texas. Here, I'm a hero because I grew up in Illinois, because I grew up in the Midwest. I've been an innovator since I was born. And it's like it's in your DNA. The idea of factories and factory places, I try to explain this place to ground zero of the racist ideas of brown people working in fact. Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you about the factory part. Like, it was because of a riot that they tried to move away. So it's like they did this to us. Like it'll be like, and that's what they took. They took our culture. So her in East St. Louis and St. Louis, they have like a Hollywood culture. So it's like they wanted to use that for old Hollywood. So when they did the riots, like the riot in East St. Louis, it was because they wanted to take the culture. The riot in Indiana, the same thing. They want to take the culture. So they want to take the jobs and the culture because they feel like if we didn't have the money, then we wouldn't have the culture. Well, guess what? My grandmother is a part of that culture too. So she would just make her own shit. You understand? So people always talk about my grandmother and what she would do. My grandmother is like one of the top cooks in East St. Louis. People come to her to learn how to cook. So placemats, coasters, ashtray, all that stuff, she would just make it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they wanted to drain us of that culture, of that old Hollywood culture, and it's like you can't take it. Because my grandfather was part of that too. He was an executive. He actually Gold Band Records. I think I have to find out where it's in Indiana somewhere, but it's like my grandfather was a music executive. He had his own little record company. So it's like at the end of the day, um, that is why they did what they did. They wanted to take the culture of the old Hollywood. They want to take the culture of the grandeur life that we have, or because people always think we upper class and all this different stuff because of how we act. They always think we have more than what we have. And it's like at some point our parents did, or our grandparents did, and it's like they don't know how to act any other way. So it's like that's it. Like, how could you take that from us? Because that is our culture. It's not something that we trying to show off or trying to be better or anything like that. That's just it. We are very cultured people because we come from a diverse background. And that's the other thing. In this area, most of the stuff that's here is Jewish, and that's based on my family and my grandfather. You understand? Even the religion, like when you turn 13 and you got to do the sins, all that stuff, that's something that actually comes from Jewish culture. That does not come from Christian culture. So that's it, y'all. It's like you really have to start to understand your own value, so then you can understand what this person is talking about too. It's not. It's something where you just like once you now you can see it. Now you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If you come here and see that we are number one in every fucking thing, but they always try to take money away from us like we lost. That's when you start to see, okay, yeah, they do steal ideas and send people in to infiltrate and all that different stuff. And it's in every area, like at the library we go, anywhere we go, they still stealing ideas. Like they are blatantly stealing our ideas, and then they'll put it on Instagram like somebody else did it, like Kim Kardashian did it. You see, I'm being stalked for the Kardashians, Gabrielle Union, Jada Pinkett, anything, Viola Davis. They actually stalked me in Texas, and now I'm stuck in Missouri and Illinois. And so you see it because it's like all the stuff they talking about comes from Texas. It came from Texas, so you can see they stalked me in Texas. They were actually putting devices in my home, everything. And actually, most people out here probably have something in their house. So they always stealing the personality and then going to California or New York trying to say that they one of us. It's like that's not true. They don't know anything about the area, the cooking, the food. They have none of our standards, none of our qualities or anything. That's why I don't always tell y'all the rules of East St. Louis and St. Louis, Missouri. So East St. Louis, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, because it's almost like we are together, but as far as violence goes, you see what I'm saying? I think St. Louis, they do stuff out of pocket, and now I'm seeing for myself because I'm at the ground level, right? Because I'm in a shelter. I see now that these people are not even from here. The people that come here to steal, they'll say that they grew up here. We like, we don't know you. Like some of us been here our whole fucking life. We don't fucking know you. So how the fuck you from here? Like, oh, what about this street? This, that, and who remember this? Even the older people that come here, they'll be trying to tell you that something was around the corner at this time. Like, no, the fuck it wouldn't. That shit went over there. What the fuck you talking? That you lying. So it's like when we realize that, you be just like, you don't want to talk to no outsider because it's just like we really are a close knit community. Like East St. Louis, Illinois, and St. Louis, Missouri, it's small. So if a Texan come here, they'll be thinking that it's big. No, we that close because this shit smaller than a motherfucker. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody. So it's like y'all can get the fuck on. That's why I be like, y'all can get y'all shit and leave. You see what I'm saying? We don't need that bullshit. You ain't bringing nothing here. The world copies this factory shit around the world, and we all at the same age with everyone's descendants. They love how we touch things. I see what you're saying. They do copy us. They do copy and try to steal. And it's because somebody wrote it down. Do y'all know that? That's why we need a lawsuit. That's why we need a lawyer. You don't ever have to stop what you're saying to read what I'm talking. Well, you're the only person that talked to me. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's like that's it. That's why they copy us, and it's like somebody wrote it down. They've been repeating the same shit over and over again because somebody wrote it down, and so somebody else sees the information and they do it again. So again, even my stuff was even stolen for the Obamas. You see what I'm saying? So that since which president after Bush, my agenda has been for like the presidents actually used my researchers, their agenda, and they knew that I was supposed to be advising the president, and they stalked me for that stuff too. So then when it got to Trump, they felt like because he was a white man that they could just mess over him, or because he was on TV, and it's like, no, that's treason. So it's like some of this stuff, it's like we really go through it here, and for them to try to always keep us in poverty, trying to act like we are not the place where they're stealing from, that's a fucking lie. And I'm not even here, y'all, all the time. I actually live in Texas. I always live in Texas. This person has actually trapped me in Missouri and Illinois. So that's it, y'all. That is it. So find your values, find out the history of your city, your region, see how that directly affects who you are today. And put that into your cultural iceberg. You might even get a book out of this. I'm not joking. When you really dive into who you are, you will start writing. I'm not joking. Like it is like something that you would just be like, man, I'm amazing. Oh damn, I ain't shit. Either way, you'll start writing. So anyway, that's it. Shantae Brown Sugar Talk on the Black Unicorns telling you guys today, celebrate and question your values. I will post everything on as much as I can post it on. Anyway, have a good day.